and let's get started.
What efforts for Diablo 3 hacking prevention are you going to push for?
Well, I think one of the things that everybody knows was a really big deal in Diablo 2 was item duplication. And one of the core philosophies of Blizzard is that we want a fair playing field for all of our players. So with Diablo 3, we're definitely learning a lot of stuff from Diablo 2 and taking into account the successes that we had on World of Warcraft. And we're applying all of those things to try to make Diablo 3 as hack-free and as great as possible. Oh, thanks.
Hi, my question isn't about Tyrael. He's such a fan favorite and such an amazingly designed character. How has the process been going to bringing him into the world of Diablo 3, and how much interaction will the player really have with him?
Leonard, do you want to get that one? Or
We're
Michael?
conferring. Hold on a second.
You're going to have to play and find out.
Hello, my question is, how is the PvP system going to be implemented, and how is it going to be different from D2? Like, can a random player just enter a random game and start going crazy, or what?
So for our PvP system, we haven't really announced specifically what we're going to do for PvP, but what I can tell you is we don't have any intention of supporting the go hostile at any time kind of gameplay from the previous games. We feel like it really, we know there's a percentage of players out there who really love it, but we feel that it hurts the cooperative game too much. It makes people ultimately in the long run not play together, which is not what we want. We are going to support PvP, and we're going to support it better than any of the previous products did. We know that there was a really big dueling community, and we want to make sure that whatever PvP community comes up around Diablo 3 gets a lot more recognition and a lot more direct support from us. We are working on a system, but we are not going to announce anything today.
Hi. My question is basically about Battle.net and how it's going to be set up for game selection, whereas Diablo 2, it was just a random list of about 20 games, and it refreshed at a random rate, I think. And then how is it going to be for Diablo 3, being, can you make PvP games, trade games, or how is that going to work that way?
So right now we haven't done a lot of Battle.net design. Battle.net's been focusing mostly on StarCraft 2 and just all the new kind of Battle.net features. It is our intention to get something a little bit more verbose than the kind of giant, very cumbersome list of games that Diablo 2 had. We recognize it wasn't really the best way to kind of find other players. So we do want to support some kind of specific matchmaking, you know, something as simple as you pick a character, you hit a button, it puts you in a game next to somebody who's doing the same thing as you at roughly the same level. We want you to be able to join your friends instantly no matter where they are and make that really easy. What visual form that's going to take is really going to be determined partially when we encounter Battle.net, when we start designing alongside them and seeing what they've done, but you know, with StarCraft 2.
Hello, I was wondering if you plan to have synergies in the talent trees with D3.
The synergy system did really good things in 1.10 for the skill system that was there. The skill system that's in Diablo 3 currently, I don't think the need for them exists in the same way. in Diablo 2, the synergies, a lot of times you had like wasted points because you were making, say, like a frozen orb sork or something, and then you had all these other skills that you got in the way, and it felt really wasteful and negative to the player. So the synergies help to support that. The skill system's so different in Diablo 3 that I don't think synergies will be needed in that way. That said, the player still needs a breadth of customization options. So we are looking at maybe easier to understand synergies or something that would be more appropriate for whatever the final skill system ends up being.
My question is, are there going to be like more variety of quests, like compared to Diablo 2? Instead of just boss farming, is there going to be more quests that you can do?
Yeah, the quests in Diablo 3 is an area in which we think that there's actually a lot of room for us to explore and grow from the previous games in the series. As you can tell if you've played the demo on the floor, we're trying a lot of new gameplay mechanics and how we can vary your gameplay experience and also deliver story and interesting events.
How you doing, guys? I have a question about the monk. You said you want a classic fighter feel. So the stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, are we gonna see some sort of Easter egg Hadouken?
I wouldn't discount anything, but at this time, I can't say. I want to remind everyone we've got a whole bunch of disciplines up here. All your rendering engine questions, this guy right here can probably answer them for you. Sound questions, anything like that. So, make sure you hit the gamut. They don't get a lot of chances to answer questions from the fans.
Hello. This is a little bit like a previous one, but the length, depth, and replay value for those of us whose gameplay does not center completely on magic finding. Like we prefer killing bigger and badder and bloodier ways.
So, if I understand, is the question, are we going to have magic find?
No. It's the length and depth of the game and the zones, because my biggest complaint with Diablo 2 is it loses its replay value after a point.
Okay, so are you talking about what's the length of a normal playthrough, or how we're going to handle replayability?
Handle replayability.
Okay. So one of the keys for replayability is, there's a lot of things that Diablo 2 did to be replayable, and we do a lot of those things as well. Randomized environments, randomized monster locations, random bosses, random items. We also add in random events, which is something that is new to the series. And that all works great for a while. One of the biggest issues that Diablo 2 had was the path of least resistance to the best items was a very repetitive path. It was usually whatever boss run was most expedient at the time, with whatever class was the best class to use for that. I'm sure you all know the Sorceress, Magic Find, Pindle and Mephisto runs that pretty much dominated, if not still dominate, a lot of D2 item finding. Those are there's a lot of assorted problems there, and we intend to fix all of them. If we include Magic Find, we're not going to let Magic Find drive your item space, and certainly not your class choice. Part of the reason that it did was that there are certain classes that items weren't as valuable for, like the Sorceress. The Wizard now really values items because items is where she gets a lot of her damage from through spell damage abilities, which was not really something that existed heavily in D2. On top of that, the next job that we have is to really make sure that we have a lot of content. There should be a really compelling reason to redo a lot of it. Because when you're spread throughout a lot of content constantly, it lasts a lot longer. So the best example I give of this is the quest system in World of Warcraft. It's really great, because it gets you to move around